to 91. Not all the way to the backstop.
It's got the sound and everything nice.
You want to make sure you're looking outside too, because you're controlling where we are left and right on the center line. I'll take care of the throttles now. Well, we're passing about 80 knots right now. Passing 95. When we get to 108, right now, you're going to go ahead and rotate. Pull back. A little bit more. Alright. Takes a little bit more just to break the inertia of the ground like that. Now we're finding a way to get a good gear up. And there's about that 15 degree nose high, so you don't want to get it too much higher on there. Above us. It's going to level off now pretty quick because I just pulled the level off at 1,000. I'm going to take the airplane for a second.
That's like the beach and driving with the
Alright. So basically coming off of that's Honolulu International, also Hickam Air Force Base. It's the same place, same runways. Point you right towards Honolulu, which is all this. On the island of Oahu in Hawaii. So like you ever heard of like Waikiki Beach or something like that? Waikiki Beach is just ahead of us off the left where it kind of juts in, kind of like a C right there. Yeah, that's Waikiki Beach. So when you actually take off out here, you see all this stuff clear as day. It's pretty cool. One of the big tourist destinations. One of the big things for a touristy thing is you come through here, it's called Diamond Head. That little volcano thing up at the end there. People go to that, hike up it and stuff like that. When you get to the very top on the end, there's an old lookout that used to be a defense post, and you can look from there and see basically all of Honolulu. It's pretty awesome.
Have you been there?
Yeah, I probably have a picture on my cell phone I can show you guys after. I've been there a couple times. Seems like this is one of the places we stop. So.
they do
I'll keep the climb coming here, come a little bit to the right, up to about 2,000 feet. We'll let you take the airplane back as soon make sure I'm on my 30 there.
Yeah, they get
as soon as I get it nice and full man. Alright, your airplane.
Are they doing straight out?
Nope. That thing's going to keep coming over to the right for you. Now it's going to level off, so if you keep it on those crosshairs, you should be good.
Like right now.
Basically going to circle back around towards the runway, but it's going to take a couple minutes because we have to get to the other side of it now. So, it's a little disorienting right now because all you see is blue, but in a minute when we level off, you start to see the island. So now it's coming back to the left, yep, perfect. So just bring it out. And as you look off to the right there, although you got to try to maintain the altitude and airspeed and everything also, you see the kind of the landing strip right there. You see all the lights and stuff for it. So we're going to build a little space in between us and it, and then we're going to drive down that way towards the end of the island, and then we can come back around in for a landing. About 300 feet here on the first mission. Touch water when you're in the air. The airplane has a bunch of aerodynamic systems that do all that for you. The little airplanes, that's not a good rule. You get a lot of torque and things from a propeller, and you get all these kind of different aerodynamic effects from something like that. And you don't get from jet engines. It's totally different aerodynamic circumstances. This jet is completely symmetric because we have 4 jet engines sitting on the wing. So unless we brought up all of these two and left these 2 back, we don't get any adverse yaw effects. So you don't need to use rudder constantly to counteract it. Which is nice. You kind of get spoiled. We're going to start a slight right turn and bring the nose back down. We're going to get back down to 2,000 feet. Oh, really? So you can see how just a couple of seconds you're not paying attention when I get 1,000 feet off our altitude, which is basically getting me fired from my job. But it's an example of like how quickly things change. Now we're already going down 2,000 feet a minute, so in just a couple of seconds we'll be back down to 2,000 feet. good example of how quickly things change. So you're constantly scanning, you've got your altitude over here, your airspeed over there, you're making sure you're going the right direction, making sure your navigation's correct, you're talking to somebody on the radios, you're talking to the other guy, you're running a checklist, you're making sure your engines are running correctly, you're making sure your everything's in correct configuration. So you've got 20 things you're doing at the same time, and we're actually going to point back to the left there. So it's, you know, task saturation is something that basically pilots try to avoid. Pilots in general tend to be really good at multitasking and have a good memory. If you're a good pilot, you tend to have a better memory than most people that excel at being a pilot. Normal people, they make phone numbers 7 digits because normal people remember about 7 things in their short-term memory. The average pilot has about 15. So it's about twice as much in your immediate short-term memory as a normal person uses. So we just put someone who's never flown before into something like this. It's a little overwhelming. Yeah. Likewise, it takes a lot of training to get kind of really good at it, but it gives you some respect for the people that are teaching you how to fly as far as how good they are and what kind of training they've gone through. To be able not only handling all that on their own, but also teaching someone else how to do it at the same time.
In a casual manner at that.
Yeah, you know, it's pretty cool. I never knew any of it. You know, I look back at the guy that taught me how to fly Cessnas, and it's pretty impressive stuff. So we're going to start a slight right turn over here. Actually, it'll be about a 30-degree level turn. We'll start slowing down in a minute, getting back over towards the airport. We're about far enough away now. We're about 8 miles from the airport. By the time we finish this turn, we'll be about 9 or so away. So as you naturally make a right turn, part of the lift of your wings is making you turn, so it actually makes you want to kind of point it towards the ground. So when you turn, you want to put a little more back pressure on there to keep yourself level. You see how as soon as you turn, you zip down with 200 feet? All you got to do is just pull back a little bit to fight that. Likewise, when you roll out here, it's going to want to climb a little bit, so you just let go of some of that back pressure that you put in. Okay, so if you look off in the distance, probably about our 2 o'clock going towards our 3 o'clock right now, you see a green strip of lights, you kind of see the rabbit lights, and you can see the rest of the landing. That's the runway we're going to be going to. So we're going to start, let's see, we're going to start getting our airplanes ready to do that. So we're going to start a slight right turn over towards the runway. Just so we can kind of make a 45-degree dogleg, because you don't want to make a 90-degree turn. Everything you do now, you're coming in towards your runway, you're close to the ground, you're starting to get slow. Everything you want to do is subtle at this point. You don't want to do anything crazy. That's just a warning that we're below 200, we're close to the ground, and our flaps are now. Now we're a little bit low for what we want to do, so we're just going to maintain 2,000. I mean, you can see the ground, we're in a safe altitude and everything, but
If the gear comes down 90 degrees and then
you're coming in towards the runway, basically the same way it did when we were taking off. You want to feel like the center of that runway is right in between your legs. That's where you want to point to. And
I think the suit's getting tired.
yeah, I was gonna say, are you doing that to me? Alright, so slight right turn now. You got about maybe 4 dots off to the left of the runway. Right now it's looking like about 3 white and 1 red. You want it 2 white and 2 red. That's pretty close to where you want it to be. If you can tell, it's kind of 2 white and 2 red right now. Good. We're just going to slow down a little bit. So our airplane's in a safe configuration to land. We're slowing down to our approach speed.
I can do that in research now.
We're looking at about 3 white and 1 red right now. So you're just going to bring the nose down a touch, and it'll adjust. We're about 4 miles from the runway. So you don't want to do anything drastic now either. Just kind of subtle correction like that, that's more than enough. It'll correct itself. There's 2 white, 2 red, right back to where we were. Perfect. So now we're right on the airspeed you want to be. We're pointing at the runway. It's right between your legs. Everything's looking good. We're in a safe configuration to land. When we land, your feet are going to be the only thing that control us again. We'll come to a full stop. I'll get the thrust reversers up to help slow us down. as we get towards the ground, the computer's going to start counting down our altitude for us based on our altimeter. It's going to count 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. When he says 20, you're going to pull back just slightly so we're not pointing down at the ground. We want to put it into like a flare into a landing attitude. A little bit. The autopilot's off because you're not doing a very good job right now. We want to get back up so we're looking at 2 white and 2 red. We're a little bit below where we want to be. There's one. We're almost there. And second one's coming up in a second. There's the second one. So now we're back where we want to be. Good. Turns right at that point a little bit low. There you go. So right about there. You want to keep it looking just like that. So we're about 300 feet off the ground right now. He's just giving us a warning, a heads up.
Race around that.
Race. Good. 100. Coming across. We're going to be at about 50 feet. Starts countdown.
40. 30.
20. Good.
10.
Boom. Down we go.
Raced it.
Nice job.